Here's your wrestling news for July 20th, 2022. And we're kicking off today with Summerslam, where Seth Rollins will face Riddle following weeks of the two feuding on TV. The match will be between a former world champion and someone many consider to be a future world champion, but WWE couldn't wait until July 30th to see the two face off. After this week's episode of Monday Night Raw went off the air, Rollins squared off against Riddle in a dark match, in a match that the original Bro won. Rollins and Riddle are expected to feud with each other past SummerSlam and likely face off at Clash of the Castle, but this week it was the former NXT Tag Team Champion who was standing tall after Raw went off the air. Rollins vs. Riddle will be just one match on the SummerSlam card, marking the first time the show hasn't taken place in August. Several title matches have been confirmed for the event, but we could see some major changes made to the card. That's according to WrestleVotes, who report that several people within WWE aren't thrilled with the card that's been booked. While criticism of WWE's booking is nothing new, with several episodes of Raw and SmackDown being besmirched by fans as the worst show ever, it's rare to see criticism of WWE come from WWE themselves. WWE still has a few days to change up the card, but at this late stage, several matches cannot be changed at this point. With over 30,000 expected to fill the Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee, WWE is wanting to make this year's SummerSlam a runaway success for the company, despite not having much faith in the current card. While they may not have much love for the current card, WWE are doing all they can to promote the show, including having their very own themed NASCAR car. NBC Universal has teamed up with NASCAR to help promote SummerSlam, and fans watching this Sunday's M&M Fan Appreciation 400 race will see an all-new design for Corey LaJoie's number 7 car. The car features the confirmed main event for SummerSlam, with both Brock Lesnar and undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns featured on the vehicle. Corey LaJoie received his new ride in a video posted to Twitter and also has his own custom WWE title with the logo for Peacock on the side plates. LaJoie even gave his pick for the main event in the video, as he's backing his tribal chief, and we'll have to see if he can be as dominant on the racetrack as Roman Reigns is in the ring. In April 2012, Husky Harris debuted his new character Bray Wyatt in FCW, and the character would go on to have massive success. Being called up to the main roster the next year, Wyatt would become a 3-time world champion and former Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Champion before being shockingly released last year. The Wyatt character was certainly popular, but according to WWE alum Rory McAllister, it was also stolen, as he told Jofo in the ring, "That was Robbie's idea 100%, because he went over and worked in the UK and stuff, and he was dressed up the same way, looked the exact same. He went to WWE, and all of a sudden, after they told him not to go back, here comes Bray Wyatt doing Robbie's whole shtick." Rory and Robbie McAllister, aka the Highlanders, were part of WWE's tag division in the 2000s, but are perhaps best known for showing up to a March 2008 episode of Impact and were released from WWE months later. Of course, this is just Rory's side of the story, but as far as he's concerned, the wrestler that a lot of fans want in AEW stole the Bray Wyatt character. Now, it's been over a month since Vince McMahon stepped down as CEO and chair of WWE due to the ongoing investigation into him. Two blockbuster reports from the Wall Street Journal have claimed that McMahon paid approximately $12 million to multiple women, with one allegedly being forced into doing things she did not want to do. The scandal has led to Netflix canceling plans for a biopic about McMahon, but he'll still be getting some focus, just not the kind he was hoping for. On the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, it was reported that HBO Real Sports will now be doing a piece about McMahon, but only about his hush money scandal. McMahon is no stranger to Real Sports, as he's agreed to appear on pieces about him in the past, but we doubt the ex-chairman will be appearing for this latest scandal. New information is not expected in the Real Sports report, but another mainstream outlet covering the story can only spell bad news for the billionaire founder of WWE. HBO may not have many kind things to say about Vince McMahon in their upcoming piece about him, but there is at least one outlet which is sticking with the former CEO. On this week's Raw, the show opened up with Titus O'Neil speaking about the great charity work WWE does, and that the company is a safe space for all people. Many believed this was WWE's way of responding to the scandal they're now facing, and O'Neil was praised by ESPN for what he said. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said that this is, of course, in response to the bad press McMahon is receiving and that WWE wants everyone to know about their charity work. He added that ESPN's response, praising O'Neil and WWE for their charity work, shows that they don't feel the current scandal is too bad and are sticking by WWE and its positive work. For fans, things look pretty dire for Vince McMahon, especially with reports that another piece by the Wall Street Journal is coming, but for the time being, ESPN isn't fazed by what the former CEO of WWE is being accused of. As if the McMahon scandal isn't bad enough, WWE is also missing some top stars due to injury, with Randy Orton one of several major names currently on the shelf. Today marks exactly 2 months since Orton's last match on the May 20th SmackDown, and it may be a very long time before we see the Viper back. During an interview with the UK's Metro newspaper, Seth Rollins spoke about his feud and impending match with Riddle and dropped a bombshell when discussing Riddle's RK Bro tag team with Orton. Obviously, the audience took a big liking to Riddle based on his relationship with Randy, but now we don't know if Randy's ever coming back. We got no clue what Randy's medical situation is. Recent reports have suggested that Orton could be out of action for the rest of 2022, which, as bad as it would be, would at least mean he'd return next year. While Orton has done it all in WWE, he has previously expressed his desire to compete for another decade, but any future plans in the ring for the Legend Killer are now in grave jeopardy. Over to AEW next, as Jeff Hardy was arrested on June 13th and charged with driving under the influence in a moment that was sad but not too surprising. Jeff has since been suspended without pay from AEW, but there's now been an update in this case. According to Volusia County, Florida Clerk of Circuit Court Records, Jeff Hardy is set to appear in court on August 2nd for his arraignment, which was initially meant to happen on July 5th before being changed. Hardy has entered a plea of not guilty to the 3 charges against him, the most serious of which being the DUI charge. That charge, Jeff's third within a decade, is a felony in the state of Florida and could result in Jeff facing up to 5 years in prison if convicted. Jeff has been told that he must be able to prove his sobriety to AEW before Tony Khan allows him to return, but depending on how this situation goes, the charismatic Enigma's days in that company may already be over. And we're ending today with Claudio Castagnoli, who joined AEW at the recent Forbidden Door crossover Super Show. During the Blood and Guts match, Castagnoli faced off with Jake Hager, his former tag partner in WWE. Years ago, the pair teamed as the Real Americans, something alluded to by commentary during the match, which according to the Swiss grappler was the right call. Speaking to NBC Sports Boston, Castagnoli said if there is history, why not address it, and said that wrestling fans have a great memory, despite what some promoters may think. In his decade in WWE, Castagnoli feuded with a lot of stars, many of whom are now in AEW, so we doubt that his previous alliance with Hager will be the last time the former Cesaro's past is referenced in AEW. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.